I read from the book of Psalms, Psalm 137. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the populace we hung our harps. For there our captors asked us for songs. Our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? You don't hear many sermons on Psalm 137. It's a difficult song. It's a hymn expressing the yearnings of the Jewish people during their Babylonian exile. But it also contains some hatred for those who oppressed the Israelites. And sometimes it has very violent imagery against those. But I guess I'm taking the easy path this afternoon. And I'm deliberately avoiding some of the passages that would require much more time than I have to unpack. So I just want to focus on these first 4 verses and offer these words as an expression of what many people are feeling today. First, a little bit of background on the psalm. Just a brief review of history. King David, you might remember, defeated Israel's most threatening enemies and organized and planned for the building of a temple there in Jerusalem. Even though he didn't build it, his son Solomon built the temple. And then after Solomon's death, the nation was divided into 2. Judah in the south, ruled by Solomon's son Rehoboam, and Israel in the north, ruled by Jeroboam. Jeroboam wanted to keep his people from traveling to the temple in Jerusalem, which was on the southern kingdom. So he made 2 gold calves in honor of Yahweh and built a temple there for Yahweh in Israel. Then both kingdoms became characterized by false worship. So then God allowed the northern kingdom to be defeated by Assyria, and in a series of invasions until finally in 722, Assyria completely defeated them and took the people captive. The southern kingdom didn't fare much better either. God raised up the nation of Babylon to invade the country, and finally in 586, the city of Jerusalem, along with the temple, was utterly destroyed. And then there followed a series of deportations of the people as they were taken captive into Babylon. So now God's people were no longer in their land, no longer in their holy city, no longer in their temple. They were in exile. Therefore, the context for Psalm 137 is God's people worshiping in exile. The worship there began, but instead of a joyous celebration, the scripture says, by the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept while we remembered Zion. Now it was customary for Jews to gather for worship by a river due to the necessity of the ceremonial washings. So it's very likely that the setting of the psalm here, by the waters of Babylon, referred to their attempt to gather for worship while they were there in exile. But instead of worshiping, praising God, they sat down and they wept. They hung up their harps on the limbs of the trees. Their captors, though, made it worse by mocking them, saying to them, "Why don't you sing for us some of your worship songs? Sing about praising your God." But the captives, the Hebrews, could not sing. How shall we sing to the Lord in a foreign land? It's too different. It's too hard. It's not the same. That's the setting of Psalm 137. No wonder it's not a real popular song. How can we worship God when we're so far from His place of worship, they're asking? How can we worship God when we're in a land of exiles, in a land that's hostile to His worship? How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Now, while I don't in any way compare our present situation to the dire circumstances that God's people found themselves in while they were in exile in Babylon, I do acknowledge that we're living in some strange times. We're facing unprecedented events, going through uncharted paths, dealing with unanticipated needs. For many of us, we're longing for things just to go back to normal, back to the way they used to be, back to the time when we could go where we wanted to go, to see the people we wanted to see, to hug the people we wanted to hug, back to work, back to safety, back to no toilet paper and hand sanitizer shortages. So we sit by the waters of uncertainty. We're tormented by the calls of conflicting messages about what we should be doing. We're haunted by politicized bickering. We're misled by self-promoting merchants of financial and physical salvation. So how can we sing the songs of the Lord while in this foreign land? But yet we must. It's more important than ever that we sing the songs of the Lord, for our sake and for the sake of those around us. If Jesus could sing a hymn with his disciples on the night before he was betrayed, if Paul and Silas could sing songs at midnight in the jail in Philippi, if martyrs could sing on their final march to the death chambers in Germany, if Negro slaves could sing under the lash of cruel servitude, then the faithful can sing in any situation. For the songs of faith come from the inside out, not from the outside in. Each generation faces its own Babylonian exile. And each generation must learn how to sing its unique song in unique circumstances. We will get through this crisis.